Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and today we're taking a look at the Kizer Clairvoyant. This here is a nice little upswept sheep's foot button lock coming out of Kizer. It's S35VN. The model number for this guy, you can see right below the thumb stud, is the KI4626A1. As I said, it is the Clairvoyant, which you can see right there. And this is a Munko Knives design. You can see the logo right there on the blade. And as you can see by all of the junk on the blade, I got to use this quite a bit, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. I'm going to start off talking about the overall handle shape here, as well as the pocket clip. Ultimately, in hand, this is very comfortable out in the fingers, but provides not much in terms of a hammer grip. Sorry, my door flew open unexpectedly, but it's not super ergonomic for me. The pinky kind of lands in this awkward spot right where this point is. You can drop it a little lower, but then it's not quite as comfortable, not really on the jimping. So for me, the ergos just don't quite work on this, though for smaller hands, they might be fine. Even if there was an area to choke up, kind of can here, not really. You can see how close I'm on the edge there. And that would be quite comfortable in this position here. But of course that's not a spot to choke up, so I'm left a little bit to be desired with the ergos. The pocket clip, however, presents no hot spot at all. It's a nice milled clip. You can see it doesn't carry extremely deep or anything like that. You have quite a bit of knife still sticking out of the pocket, but overall, with these angled contours on it, you can see here, these chamfers, I guess I should say, it lends itself to be quite comfortable in hand and not cause any kind of hot spotting. Now, this is a very interesting blade shape. It kind of reminds me of like a Nesmuk style blade with all belly and this kind of upswept tip. The tip is actually in line with the pivot, so it's not far off from like what a traditional spear point might end up being. But of course, the shape overall is quite different. This works quite well if you needed to make kind of rolling cuts on a cutting board or something like that. This would be quite useful. And overall, with slicing kind of all belly here, makes slicing tasks extremely intuitive. Kind of as the wrist extends and the arm extends, the edge stays right where you need it to be the whole time. And the thumb stud action's pretty good. This actually has a quite strong spring, so this deploys nice and reliably, which is great to see in a button lock. I just filmed 2 other button lock videos today, and those were good examples as well, but this one by far has the strongest detent, so to speak, and certainly is the hardest to deploy in a good way, as in it fires out the hardest, not that it's difficult. But overall, this is just a very slim knife in hand, and it cuts well. The blade's plenty thin, the spine's completely crowned, so it's nice and comfortable. But overall for me, it doesn't have enough meat in the handle to be super comfortable for long-term use. Now, like I said, this did cut completely fine. You do have a nice flat grind on this, on a pretty thin blade as it stands. It said the spine's crowned, so it looks extra thin as well, but it is quite thin blade stock. And the flat grind comes to a pretty thin edge, which you can kind of see here. See just how close my fingers are together. And yeah, the action's good overall. You're on bearings here, like most of the button lock knives out there. So yeah, this is pretty cool. But overall, just not for me ergonomically. Performance-wise though, absolutely good to go. This guy performed great. So nicely done by Munko Knives and Kizer here on the Clairvoyant. If you have smaller hands than I do, you'll probably like this, though it is a fairly large knife overall, so do keep that in mind. That's where I'm going to leave this one off, keeping it nice and short and simple. I got a lot of these to film, so I'm going to try and make these nice and quick. But yeah, the Kizer Clairvoyant, it is a button lock from Kizer and Munko Knives, and the ergos for me, just a little bit of a miss for my large size hands, though some of the smaller hands might really enjoy this. And the blade shape and the blade grind are pretty nice and work pretty well for everyday carry type situations. So that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on the Kizer Clairvoyant down below, and thanks for watching. Take care.